Nganya na wametuzoea ati wanataka kutudanganya. Shida ni ukabila, tubadilishe katiba ndio wapate vyeo. Sisi tunawaambia shida si ukabila, shida ni uchumi.
The economy is bleeding. Deputy President William Ruto says the nation should focus on uplifting millions below the poverty line and not changing the constitution. The industrious chapter comes to a close as the remains of the late business magnate Chris Kirubi are interred in his expansive Thika farm. And numbers now shift to Western Kenya, with 79 people testing positive for coronavirus in Kakamega as the country records 714 new cases from 6,039 samples in the last 24 hours. Byron Abuli will be our sign language interpreter for tonight. My name is Njue. Thank you for making time. Remember, let's keep this interactive. For comments, suggestion, or even where you are watching us from. And I'll be sampling some during and at the tail end of this live newscast. And we begin with matters politics, where Deputy President William Ruto has hit out at the proponents of the Constitution Review, saying BBI is not a priority for Kenyans. Speaking in West Pokot, Ruto said the main problem confronting the nation at now is the poor state of the economy and tribalism. Kevin Washira begins our live coverage with that report.
The Deputy President took his campaigns to West Pokot County, where he presided over the empowerment of Akirimet reformed warriors in Sigor constituency. Ruto hitting out at the promoters of the Building Bridges initiative, saying their priorities were misplaced.
Mambo ni tofauti. Kuna wale wanataka kutudanganya na wametuzoea ati wanataka kutudanganya. Shida ni ukabila, tubadilishe katiba ndio wapate vyeo. Sisi tunawaambia shida si ukabila, shida ni uchumi. Tubadilishe uchumi.
The Deputy President called for the revival of the economy instead of focusing on reviewing the constitution he says will benefit a few.
Na ndio mnasikia tunasema tunabadilisha mfumo wa uchumi. Badala ya ile kutoka juu ikuje chini, sasa tutaanza chini iende juu. Tuanze hapa kwa mama mboga kwanza, na huyu mtu wa biashara hapa chini. Ama mnasema namna gani? Mnasema shida ya Kenya ni ukabila ama ni uchumi?
As Ruto campaigned in North Rift, his allies were in Kiambaa campaigning for UDA's candidate Jogona Wanjiko, led by Kikuyu MP Kimani Ichung'wa. The MPs said Jubilee Party had done little to address the main problems ailing the region and does not deserve the vote of the locals.
If that merger, as Tuju said, is a merger between the Jubilee and ODM, we are not part of it. If it is a merger between Raila Odinga's ODM, Raphael Tuju's Jubilee, David Muratha's Jubilee, we are not part of it, and we want nothing to do with it.
Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
Nairobi businessman Chris Kirubi has been laid to rest at his Benda farm in Thika, Kiambu County. Kirubi succumbed to cancer on Monday, closing the chapter to one of Kenya's most illustrious and industrious lives in recent history. The late Kirubi has been credited for using his influence to bridge political differences in the country and providing employment opportunities for thousands of youths.
Family, friends and business colleagues of the late Chris Kirubi gathered in Thika to pay their final respects to the business magnate.
I would be completely in awe of how he just kept going and going and going, and gave everyone he met his time, and he was never short of leaving you with words of wisdom and challenged you to always do better.
He was thinking ahead. He had a vision for me. That vision was to get exposed. That vision was to be worldly. That vision was to be fearless of any culture, any language, any persons, and for me to be bold.
We have been robbed as seasoned businessman, entrepreneur, industrialist, innovator, philanthropist, whose influence spanned real estate, media, retail, charitable works, financial services, banking, among many others.
Kirubi lives behind one of the most industrious and steady business empires in the country. In life, the late Kirubi brushed shoulders with leaders both in business and political circles, but often chose to remain apolitical, at least when in public.
Whenever I shared business ideas with my dad, I enjoyed how he would go through the idea and how he would, with ease, break the idea down. In business, my dad saw years ahead of what that business would look like, and it started to shape how I viewed things.
How unique he was in terms of choosing, maintaining, and exiting investments as appropriate. And this is what has created this portfolio of investments, which today as a country, we are very proud of. And he went further than that. Not only was he very smart in investing in business, he was also very smart in investing in systems, political systems.
However, behind the scenes, he was regarded as an arbitrator and a peacemaker.
I went to him and I asked him, my friend, Dr. Chris, what can we do about this? How can we stop this conflicts fighting? And he said, you are the preacher. And I told him, I want to go. And I remember I went and I met the former president, President Moi, and he gave me a blessing. Then your dad, Dr. Chris, he told me, I'm going to mobilize my friends, and you're not going to go empty-handed to those people who are wounded and who have been in a conflict.
During this time of illness, he never lost who he was, and he continued to love people, family, and continue to love God, and many of these things I will also continue to cherish.
We have agreed that we will set up the Chris Kirubi Foundation that will honor the work and the values you were so truly passionate about.
The late Kirubi created and expanded a business empire that encompassed the media, manufacturing, property management, insurance and investment sectors. Prior to his demise Monday, the late business mogul had been in and out of hospital battling cancer, all the while keeping up with his mentees through social media in what has since been referred to as Ask Kirubi. He was 80 years old.
The country bids farewell to one of its fallen icon, Dr. Chris Kirubi, who has left a footprint across various sectors in the country. He will be remembered as a seasoned businessman, an innovator, an industrialist, a mentor, among others. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackie Wamberu.
May he so rest in peace. Let's now shift focus to matters health, where Kenya's coronavirus burden is on an upward trend, with the positivity rate climbing to 11.8% on Saturday. The Ministry of Health has announced 714 new COVID-19 cases out of the 6,039 samples screened in the last 24 hours. The latest figures also indicate a slight increase in the number of cases reported in the counties which were recently declared as hotspots.
For the last 3 days, Kenya's COVID-19 infection rate has remained above 10%. On Saturday, the rate remained on an upward trajectory, standing at 11.8%, following the confirmation of 714 new infections out of 6,039 samples. The bulk of the new cases were recorded in the 13 counties, which were declared COVID-19 hotspots by the Ministry of Health on Thursday. 79 cases have been recorded in Kakamega, followed by Kisii with 78, Migori 76, Kisumu 72, Busia 69, and Siaya recorded 60 cases. 10 more patients have lost their lives to COVID-19. 285 patients have recovered from the disease, but 1,073 others are still admitted in hospital. 94 of those admitted are in the intensive care unit. To date, 186,966 people have received their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Moving on, residents of Ragana in Migori County are calling on the government to move with speed and renovate Lichota Cemetery, which is in a pathetic state. Locals claim bodies at the cemetery have been disposed of in shallow graves, attracting hyenas and that are exhuming them.
Ragana area of Migori County. One would mistake this for a scene from a horror film. The area littered with body parts and pieces of clothes said to belong to the deceased. Apart from the stench, dusk in this village spells doom for the residents as howling hyenas scavenge on poorly disposed bodies.
Watoto wanakimbia kimbia wakikuja wakisema sisi tunakuwa na waziwazi. Fisi nayo inakuja usiku inalia inatusumbua, inatukimbiza hata hatulali. Tunawaza tu serikali yetu mbona hamtuoni, hamtujali?
Unapata ofisi watu wakishazikwa wapenda wao, huyo ofisi anaenda nafukua kaburi, akishatoa mfu anaweka juu. Na si mara ya kwanza na ni kila siku.
The area residents fearing for their safety and that of their children who often run into the body parts.
Umbwa zinakimbia nazo, watoto wanaenda wanakimbia huku na huku wakitazama, wakiongea. Sasa tunashangaa sisi kama wazazi. Tuna shida. Jamani, mtusaidie.
Domestic animals such as sheep have not been spared by the hyenas either. The villagers now want the Migori County government to relocate the cemetery or ensure bodies are disposed of properly.
Iangalie njia mbadala ya watu kuzikwa wapenda wao. Juu pale hakuna security mzuri. Juu wale pia ni wanadamu, inafaa wanahifadhiwa mahali pazuri. Mimi naomba serikali yetu ya Migori ili angalie maneno kama hayo, kama wanaweza kuchimba shimo ndani kabisa karibu futi 5 ndio wazike mtu, inaweza kuwa ni vema katika kaunti yetu ya Migori.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Here in Kenya, on a mission of evangelization, the American televangelist Dr. Charles DeForn says he is bringing with him a message of hope for those who have despaired during this coronavirus pandemic. Dr. DeForn, who claims to have powers to heal, is calling on Kenyans to return to the path of the Lord and all their mountain of problems will be flattened.
A lot of people are coming in there from all over the country. People that have been healed of HIV and all, they're bringing their testimonies to come and share what happened the last time I was here. See, revelation brings confidence. So I say to people, if they have COVID, if they have incurable sicknesses, carry the sick. Every sickness is healable because Jesus has never changed. So those that have COVID, maybe the doctors have given up on them, bring them there. We did the same thing in Germany. They brought the people with COVID and they were healed. You're saved so that you can bring salvation to others. You are redeemed so that you can redeem others. There is a mission to everything God does. So we came here on a mission to minister love to people that needs Jesus.
Elsewhere, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, is advocating for the formation of a Health Service Commission to address the fragile health sector. Addressing the Kenya Medical Association conference, Muturi called on stakeholders in the sector to robustly begin engagements with departmental health committees in both the National Assembly and Senate assemblies on how the sector can be managed in the country.
The proposal to have a health commission to deal with the management of the health sector has been a thorny issue. Counties are not willing to let go the sector, which has billions of shillings in allocations, but health workforce believe the devolved unit lack capacity to man the sector. The National Assembly Speaker, Justin Muturi, is of the view that the sector be managed by a health commission. Addressing Kenya Medical Association conference, Muturi urged stakeholders in the sector to begin engaging Parliament on the same.
In partnership to the persistent regimen of disputes between the government and healthcare-based trade unions is the formation of a health service commission. Such a commission, with the finger on the pulse on emerging issues and short turnaround time, can cure the situation and bring greater sanity to our healthcare sector.
Speaking separately in Kisii, Kenya Medical Association President Dr. Njue urged the National Assembly Speaker and legislators to ensure prudent enactment of laws that will enable an affordable healthcare system.
I will want to work with the Speaker of Parliament and the Senate and Parliament members so that we can ensure that we have good legislation enacted where it's in the best interest in terms of addressing the many challenges we face in health, including the human resource for health.
Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1.
Now, a group of cyclist enthusiasts from Nyahururu town have set out on a 120-kilometer cycling adventure to raise funds for a therapy complex. The mission, dubbed Stretching Our Limits 2021, is geared towards raising over 4 million shillings to support people living with disability.
Donned in the white cycling outing, donned in the white cycling attire. Veteran cyclists, men, women and young children, including persons with physical and mental disabilities, hit the road, each at their own pace. The Cyctef group began cycling from Nyahururu town through Olkolo to Gilgil town and back. The initiative, which is being spearheaded by Lashi Kenya, an non-governmental organization, is geared towards raising over 4 million Kenyan shillings to put up a facility in aid of people living with physical and mental disabilities, a fitness center, drugs for those in need, and also rehabilitate crucial facilities fit for the disabled.
Climax ya hiyo activity itakuwa mwezi wa September tarehe 18, lakini leo tunafanya build up activity, tunaendesha baiskeli tukienda sehemu za Gilgil.
A major event is scheduled for September this year, which will be used to encourage Kenyans to embrace cycling as a form of exercise.
Tulichagua kuendesha baiskeli kwa sababu tayari ni kitu ambacho kinaongeza afya ama kinasaidia katika afya ya mwanadamu katika mazoezi. Damu inaweza kutembea vizuri kwa mwili, mtu unachoma mafuta, unaweza kukua physically fit.
Cycling inasaidia sana sana it is also like a way to keep fit. Badala ya kwenda gym, unaweza chukua baiskeli na uzunguke 2 kilomita tu kidogo kidogo.
Participants have expressed their excitement in taking part in the event, which they describe as fun.
Nimeonelea ni vizuri ili niweze kujulisha jamii umuhimu wa kuhusisha ndugu zangu ambao kuna ulemavu wa kiakili.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.
At about 17 minutes past the hour, you're taking our fast break, but let me appreciate Enos Omothi. You're watching KBC Channel 1 News. So is Reggie June from Makueni. Morgan Sancho, you're watching from Kisii, Kosgei from Nandi County. We have Duke Maombe watching from Keroka in Kisii with his wife Priska Kerubo and son Brian Mageto. We're taking a quick breather. When we come back, more news including yoga for kids.
Tuingie huko. Bwana Motiso, pikipiki yako ndio hii.
Uko sure ni yangu? Hii pikipiki ni unakumbuka uniekelea the lowest unique bid yako ilikuwa ngapi? 18 shillings. Na unajua kuendesha hii gari? Kidogo. Haya, kitoko yako shika helmet, kifungu yako chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Did you know that disease and accidents occur suddenly and when least expected? If you have a medical insurance policy, it gives you peace of mind knowing that your medical expenses will be catered for by insurer up to your policy limit. Now you know. IRA, promoting insurance, protecting the insured.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, tilt.
It is a great pleasure to be back on KBC Channel 1.
Simujifanya ni washindani. Ngoja siku ifike.
Mimi ni paka mwitu, nitakupa pura.
Ni usiku sasa, matatizo kuna nini?
Mtume! Nilikwambia wacha kuzungumza na mwanamke. She has no respect. Coming to my party. Wataka kunipiga? Nipige.
Kuwa makini sana ule mke wako. La usivyo tukugharimu.
Mamako mwenyewe. Wewe usiniudhi. Sawa, wewe ulimwona mamangu?
Huwezi kunisaidia? Nenda zako. To you too. Cheers.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, a renowned Indian yoga guru, Dr. Seema Sharma, is challenging Kenyan parents to adopt yoga to build their children's self-esteem and body awareness on tender years. Speaking at Tinganga Catholic Church in Kiambu, Dr. Sharma, who undertook yoga training for young children, said the yoga over years has been known to promote mental and physical well-being.
Today being their first day practicing yoga, vulnerable children from Tinganga could not hide the joy during the exercises, which helped them connect with their minds and bodies. Sarah Jane Mireri, a teacher at Tinganga Primary School, says they have been encouraged to making yoga a long-term practice by introducing it in schools, as it has helped in improving focus, memory, academic performance and classroom behaviors in children.
Let it be long-term, and also they accommodate more because most of them, they are vulnerable and they come from needy families. They have done very good exercises, which are good gymnastics, to build them mentally and also physically.
Touch your nose, with your knee.
Embracing the exercise, Aloysius Njoroge, a youth patron in Tinganga Catholic Church, said the practice, which originated in India during the medieval period, has been known to help people connect with their souls.
Tukiangalia yoga kama ni mazoezi, kama yanaelekeza pahali inaelekeza watu ni kuwa wakuwe ni wazima, alafu inaonyesha inapeleka watu kwenye nguvu za Mungu.
Dr. Seema Sharma, known in Kenya as Yoga Guru, said she is embracing the practice at tender years as it helps in body development and boosting of the immune systems.
I saw that some children are playing and they're doing the very, very difficult poses. Then I decided to come here and to give them, they are already flexible, but they give the right direction to how to do the exercise.
The International Day of Yoga has been celebrated annually on the 21st of June since 2015, following its inception in the United Nations General Assembly in 2014. Yoga is a spiritual, mental and physical practice that originated in India. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Amboyo Tiende.
Thanks, Otiende, for that report. Elsewhere, a family in Guraya Mvita constituency is calling for justice after their houses were allegedly demolished by hired goons. The owner of the disputed property, Zainab Juma, said the family has lost property of unknown value and wants action taken against the police officers who supervised the demolition. This and other stories in news making headlines in the counties.
According to the owner of the disputed property, Zainab Juma, the family has incurred huge losses after they lost their valuable goods and items. Zainab wondered why the demolition took place, saying there is a pending case in court between her family and an Indian investor yet to be concluded.
Kwa hivyo kesi ambayo iko kotini kwa sheria, hawezi tena mtu akarudi akajump the gun aje amvunjie bila kumpatia notice.
The family is now appealing to the government to intervene on the matter so that they can get justice.
Hizi ploti tulipewa hapa wakazi wote wa majengo, yani hata si hapa tu, wakazi wote wa majengo hapa, hata huko across. Sasa hawa wenzetu huko nyuma kote huko wamepewa title, yeye hataki, anang'ang'ana, ataka hii nyumba yake, ataka ploti yani.
Elsewhere, a family in Ngemwa village, Kiambu County, is calling on the government to intervene for them to get death benefits of a son who served at the Kenya Defence Forces. The family claims their son, Sergeant John Mwiruri, died in the line of duty, and a lady purporting to have had his child had stopped them from claiming the benefits.
Kwa nini msichana wakati wote ule kijana alikufa, kulikuwa na kamati mahali pale, hakuongelelea juu yake. Kulikuwa na watu mahali pale, hakusema chochote. Hadi mazishi ilipofika, tukazika kijana, hakusema mahali ati yeye ana mtoto wa kijana.
And Kericho Women Representative Florence Bore has called for the revival of cooperative societies as a way of helping farmers. Bore said cooperative societies are important to farmers as they will have bargaining power when selling their products as well as value addition.
Cooperative societies wengine, mimi najua kuna cooperative societies nyingi ambazo zimeanguka. Nataka kuwasihi kwamba waweze kufufua hizo cooperative societies ndio waweze kupata bargaining power wakiuza kama group na waweze kupata market.
Meanwhile, the government has commenced the building of dams in the clan conflict-prone areas of northeastern region in a bid to foster peaceful coexistence among feuding clans. Speaking in Bute, Wajir North during the official launch of Resteno Mega Water Dam, East African Community and Regional Development Cabinet Secretary Mohammed Adan said the government was keen on building peace among communities in the region.
One of the things that the national government has done is to make sure that those incidences are minimized through programs such as this, and we look forward to hearing responses from the community on how this is going to make a difference in their lives.
Ile ningewaomba wananchi wa hapa msikubalie hiyo insecurity ingie hapa. Mnajua insecurity ile tunaongea mahali tunaongea juu yayo ni maneno ya Al-Shabaab.
And finally, the Parliamentary Committee on Health has called for allocation of 50 billion shillings annually to the Kenya Medical Research Institute for Scientific Research. Njue Member of Parliament Martin Owino says KEMRI is a crucial government institution that does not research on diseases, but has for years been underfunded, forcing the institute to depend on donor funding.
We need to fund this research institution. Right now, the statistics is we have 200 researchers to 1 million people. Comparatively, in the development world, you have 5,000 researchers to 1 million people. So you can see the deficit which we want to do to help.
Timothy Kipnusu, Channel 1 News.
And further afield, hardliner Ibrahim Raisi has won Iran's presidential election in a race that was widely seen as being designed to favor him. Ibrahim Raisi secured 62% of the votes.
Raisi is Iran's top judge and holds ultra-conservative views. He is under US sanctions and has been linked to past executions of political prisoners. Iran's president is the second highest ranking official in the country after the supreme leader. Raisi will be inaugurated in early August and will have significant influence over domestic policy and foreign affairs. But in Iran's political system, it is the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the top religious cleric who has the final say on all state matters. Iran is run according to conservative Shia Islamic values, and there have been curbs on political freedoms since its Islamic revolution in 1979. Many Iranians saw this latest election as having been engineered for Mr. Raisi to win and shunned the poll. Official figures showed voter turnout was the lowest ever for presidential election at 48.8%, compared to more than 70% for the previous vote in 2017. For Channel 1 News, I'm Jacqueline Masharia.
At about 29 minutes past the hour, we are taking another quick breath. But when we come back, it's matters sports. As Harry, you're watching from Kwale Town. Son Felix Manu, watching live from Rafiki Ololoika. Zedi Osera, you're watching from Kendu Bay. And Kevin Cheruyot, you also tuned in from Eldoret. Let's have that quick break, then we'll be right back.
Umemulizia nani vile?
Kabiru.
Pascal, kama ni mtihani umefeli. Umetoka.
Inaitwa kujipanga kabla hujapanga.
Namtaka mwanangu Masha.
Kati yako na mimi, ni nani anayemjua babake Masha vizuri? Kumbuka, mimi ni mamake.
My number one instrument is the guitar. Music is the food of life. Play on. What's your number one?
If you have been in contact with someone who is suspected or has tested positive for COVID-19, self-quarantine for 14 days and call 7194 for help. Self-quarantine restricts movement and the spread of the disease and protects your family, friends, and community from being infected. During self-quarantine, you are advised to stay in a separate room, disinfect surfaces and clothing with appropriate disinfectant, avoid sharing household items, including utensils, towels, and beddings, do not receive visitors, wear an appropriate face mask if you must be around other people. COVID-19 is preventable. Protect yourself, family, and the community. This message has been brought to you by the Government of Kenya and its partners.
Kupata skiza tune ya usifadhaishwe, dial star 811, star 815 hash.
Usifadhaishwe na mafanikio ya wengine ukihisi kwamba maisha yako hayana maana. Kumbuka, wengi huzungumzia tu mafanikio yao na si changamoto walizozipitia na ni mara ngapi walianguka. Tia bidii, muda wako utafika.
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya usifadhaishwe kwa simu yako, dial star 811 star 815 hash, star 811 star 815 hash.
Sasa hii ng'ombe ni yako. Asante. Hii ng'ombe itatoa maziwa mengi kabisa. Sasa shida ya school fees imeisha. Jen, chukua hii. Hebu nikuulize, hii maneno nasikia ya bima ya elimu inaweza kuwa namna gani mtu anachukua? Process ya kuchukua insurance cover yote ni rahisi. Hata niko na cover ya gari yangu. Kwanza unajaza proposal form kama hii na uijaze wewe mwenyewe. Na kama haujui kusoma, uijaze na mtu unayemwamini. Hakikisha ile majibu umepatiana ni sahihi na ni ya kweli. Pia thibitisha insurance cover imeangalia masilahi yako. Na usiwahi sign proposal form ambayo haijaandikwa kitu chochote. Pia ukumbuke kujitolea photocopy yako. Sasa wacha nianze hiyo process. By the way, ukisubmit hiyo proposal form, uhakikishe umepatiwa policy document. Uisome na uielewe. Hiyo ndio thibitisho ya kuwa una bima. Asante sana.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na IRA.
Welcome back. In sports, KCB labored before trouncing Mathare United 1-0 in a closely contested Premier League match played at Ruaraka grounds. In another match, Nairobi City Stars humbled Kakamega Homeboys 1-0. Gospel outplayed Wadadia 5-0 in their FKF Women Premier League playoff match played at the Nakuru ASK Showgrounds. A hat-trick from Elizabeth Wamboi and further goals from Mercy Airo and Corazon Aquino ensured Gospel a semi-final spot where they will be taking on Vihiga Queens on Friday next week.
Game imekuwa poa, despite we've lost, we fight, tumefight our best. Like okay, vile tumekuja playoffs, tumelack key players like our first juggle, amekuwa injured, amekuwa plaster, our striker wengine wako na injuries, but tuko na team poa, like tuna psych up next time tukikuja playoffs we'll do our best. Like we are the best team, like best team lose. Yeah, tumekubali tumepoteza, but we fought.
Game imekuwa poa and I think we expected this, because kwa mazoezi tumekuwa na hiyo moral na tukaangalia issues zimekuwa kwa team, tukiangalia weaknesses, and I think tumeutilize our chances na hizo ma weaknesses tumekuwa nayo tulirectify na tukaperform poa.
Reigning World 5,000 meters champion Hellen Obiri, sprint sensation Ferdinand Omaya and Julius Yego among top Kenya's athletes named in Team Kenya ahead of this year's Tokyo Olympic Games in Japan. Meanwhile, Hellen Obiri produced a masterclass performance to win the women's 10,000 feet finals as the curtains came down on the Olympic trials at the Kasarani Stadium.
Reigning world 5,000 meters champion Hellen Obiri, 100-meter record holder Ferdinand Omanyala made the cut ahead of this year's Olympics, which will be held in Tokyo, Japan. The list comprised of Hellen Obiri, Julius Yego, Ferdinand Omanyala, Marco Tieno, Faith Kipyegon, Eliud Kipchoge, among others. The team will now resume training ahead of the Olympics. Meanwhile, Hellen Obiri produced a masterclass performance to win the women's 1,000 meters as the curtains came down on the Olympic trials at the Kasarani Stadium. Obiri, making her second appearance at the weekend meet this season, took charge of the race from the onset. The World 5,000 meters champion led the leading pack that comprised of Irene Chebet and Sheila Chelagat. Obiri crossed the line in 30 minutes 53.60 seconds ahead of Irene Chebet, who settled for the second position. Sheila Chelagat completed the podium dash.
With the teamwork, the ladies here are very strong. Yes. Hope we're going to deliver this time round.
In the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase, Leonard Bet edged out favourite Abraham Kibiwot to win the race in 8 minutes 17.2 seconds. Kibiwot came in second while Benjamin Keegan settled for third position. A total of 43 athletes were selected to represent Kenya at the Tokyo Olympic Games.
I did my thing. I've met the team. Yeah, that was my aim. Now I'm here, so what I'm trying to do is, to bring a medal back home. So that's going to be my mission from today.
And Kakamega Homeboys winger David Odhiambo is the FKF Premier League Player of the month of May. Odhiambo was named the best player of the month after netting 3 goals and registering an assist in as many matches. Meanwhile, Football Kenya Federation has suspended sports activities in 13 counties where a partial lockdown was ordered due to the rising coronavirus cases.
27-year-old David Odhiambo kicked off the month with a goal and an assist during their 4-0 home win against Western Stima. He assisted Stephen Opoku break the deadlock before netting the third goal as Homeboys ran over the visiting Stima side. The winger then grabbed a brace in their subsequent match against Postal Rangers, which ended 3-1 in their favour at the Uta League ground. Odhiambo beats for Parker midfielder Lawrence Juma to the award after amassing 5 votes against Juma's 2, with the Lindsay Stars winger Clinton Omondi coming in third. Juma made it to the podium thanks to his 2 goals and an assist, while Omondi had 2 goals against his name. Meanwhile, Football Kenya Federation has confirmed that it is in talks with the government to have teams located in the affected counties following new coronavirus restrictions play in other counties. FKF suspended sports activities in 13 counties where a partial lockdown was ordered due to the rising coronavirus cases. Kakamega Homeboys, Western Stima, Vihiga United and Nzoia Sugar are the top flight teams who are affected by the new directive as they reside in the affected regions. Although the new directive affects mainly the western region, it is the third time that sports activities in the country have been suspended since the pandemic first struck the country over a year ago.
Moving on, a supermarket chain, Quickmart, has unveiled a sponsorship package for 2 drivers ahead of the World Rally Championship WRC Safari Rally, stated for June 24 to June the 27th. The Quickmart branded rally car, a Mitsubishi Evolution 10, will take part in the Safari Rally event, which will be held in Naivasha following a 19-year absence from the WRC calendar. The car will be driven by Evans KBC. The rally will also serve as the 3rd Kenyan National Rally Championship event this season, after Nakuru in February and the Arc Equator Rally in April.
We'll tell you that we'll drive fresh and easy, but we'll try to be as competitive as we can. It's a long event, it's a 4-day event, and those types of events normally require a lot more endurance than sprints.
This is our first time to get into sports sponsorship, and we're very excited to be part of bringing back a legacy of Kenya. Kenya is known for the Safari Rally. Growing up, I could hear of Patrick Njue, all these guys, Shaka Meta. So it's very, very exciting for us as a brand.
And still on Need for Speed, 2019 Kenya National Rally Championship, a Division 2 drivers champion, Isa Anwari, is optimistic of a good show when the WRC Safari Rally zooms off on 24th June to the 27th June in Nakuru County. The rally will also serve as the 3rd Kenya National Rally Championship event this season.
Amwari, who will be driving a Mitsubishi Evo X co-driven by Job Njero, is confident Kenyan drivers will put up a good fight. Amwari says it's a great opportunity to take part in the WRC Safari that is making a return to Kenya after a 19-year absence.
Actually, at the moment, our confidence is a little bit battered. This year, we have started on the wrong footing. We rode in Equator Rally, which our aim was just going for a finish. Unfortunately, we had that incident that we were unable to restart the following day, so we retired from the event.
The rally will also serve as a third KNRC event this season after Nakuru in February and ARC Equator Rally in April. Besides the blistering pace, local drivers are also sure to thrill fans as they fight for national points.
Going into safari, our target is simple: bring the car home. That is our main target for this event. And we will drive very careful. We don't want to push. We don't want to break the car. We will try and bring the car home. That's our premium target for this event.
Shaga won the season opening KCB Nakuru Rally in Elementaita, but lost his championship lead to Kabra Sugar Racing teammate Tajveer Rai after a bad run on Equator. The 2022 KNRC started off with the Nakuru event, followed by the ARC Equator Rally in Naivasha after Machakos Rally was postponed due to COVID-19 protocols on public gathering. Amwari will be up against local drivers led by Carl Flash Tundo, Baldev Chaga, youngster Karan Patel, and the Rise, Tadvir Enonka, driving a VW Polo R5. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sports.
Cross borders, Terence Mann scored a career-high 39 points and the Los Angeles Clippers stormed back for a 131-119 win over the visiting Utah Jazz, clinching the series 4-2 and advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in the franchise's history. In the Eastern Conference semi-finals, Philadelphia 76ers beat the Atlanta Hawks 104-99 to force a game that shall be played early Monday morning, local time in Philadelphia.
Fifth seeded Hawks with 34 points and 12 assists.
Threes from everyone, defensive stops. And then listen, this Atlanta team, they just shoot the ball so darn well. They're never out of a game. They're just not. There's no lead safe with them. They're shooting and not to the level of Golden State, but they remind you of that. Like, there's just too many guys that can shoot on their team.
Kevin Harter finished with 17 points and 11 rebounds.
Just got to go in there with the right mindset, go in there locked in, and go in there like it's a business trip. Go in there, try to take care of business, and that's the plan.
In the West, the fourth-seeded Los Angeles Clippers, who trailed by 25 points in the third quarter in their 131-119 win over the visiting Utah Jazz, will face second-seeded Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals early Monday morning local time for the right to go to the NBA Finals. In their semi-final against the Jazz, the Clippers dropped the first two games of the series before closing out with 4 straight wins to advance to the conference finals.
21 points, but they can't stop the Jazz. Terrence Mann gets inside. Mann the rebound. Mann drives. Mann finishes. 31.
Me is me. You know, like I said before, just play my game, shoot the open shot, get downhill, make plays, get out in transition, get easy ones, and play defense. That's just what I do. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Yeah, I mean, I trust my work. You know, when you trust in your work, you trust in yourself, you're not surprised when any of this happens.
The Clippers moved on despite playing the past 2 games without star forward Kawhi Leonard, who had a sprained right knee. Paul George scored 28 points for Los Angeles, while Reggie Jackson added 27 points in Tennessee.